Hmm. Yeah, it's just quiet at the moment. Oh,
Yep. Right. Sorry, folks. For whatever reason, the microphone got recalibrated. Sorry for the wait. For whatever reason, I couldn't get the render done for the 18th anniversary of Spider-Man 2, and I tried bringing the resolution down from 720 to 480 to 360, and that was as far as I was going to go, because if you go below 360, that's basically below DVD quality. So,
blech.
yeah.
Oh, yikes.
So, for whatever reason, it just freezes whenever this one particular piece of camera footage is going from me talking about how it just seems a bit contrived that Aunt May just seemingly forgave him, when if Peter had actually stopped the robber in the first movie, Uncle Ben would be still around. Because it would then transition to a picture of Rosemary Harris over a looping background of New York in the skyline, and for whatever reason, it just got stuck on that.
Maybe. Sorry.
I don't know. I tried doing like small things like closing other programs down, removing the video preview on Vegas just so that the computer could focus, and I don't know. It might just be it's just a corrupt image. I don't know. But all I know is I couldn't get it done.
Maybe Electro's messing with the software or something.
Oh, good lord, that's a lot.
Damn it! Again?
I would have said Gremlin, but Electro is more fitting as he's more of the Spider-Man baddie.
Dan just said, just want to let you know I'm healed up from that certain C word Twitch won't let me say. That's good, dude. That's good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Oh, glad to hear him feeling better.
Yeah.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean. So yeah, that's where we stand with Spider-Man 2. I was trying just to get the preview done so that when it would get to 5 or 6 a.m. UK time tomorrow, it would go out scheduled as per norm. But what I'm going to be doing when I wake up, more or less around 12 tomorrow, I'll try a couple of different little techniques. Maybe I'll change the picture of Rosemary Harris and just have something else. But Spider-Man 2 is not going to go out as scheduled. But on the plus side, Spider-Man 3's voiceovers and camera footage has been done. Ooh. And I've kind of resolved a little bit of an issue with my camera, because for whatever reason, when I have it on one particular setting where I can adjust the volume setting on the microphone, because the higher you push the gain, the more white noise you get. But I've managed to just like flip a different setting, and the camera previously, where I would have to have it, say, 2.5 feet away from me, now I can have it with the same focus where it was previously, but it's literally half a foot in front of me. So that means I can now do regular voice, camera still picks it up clearly, and the neighbors get what they want. They get peace and quiet, I get to do my usual production. So that's where we stand with that. And technically speaking, I've already got the first review of next season. Recorded, filmed, and voiceovered. It's just that I haven't had the time to do anything, and Titanic will be out in November, which is kind of fitting because it did actually come out in November of '97, so somewhat fitting. There's going to be 1 or 2 surprises for season 18, and I think what I'm going to be doing after Spider-Man 3, that's it. That's the season finale, because after rushing around for the last month plus change just to get Spider-Man 1 and Titanic voiceovered and filmed, I'm going to probably take about 2 to 3 weeks off after that review goes out, and then when I do get back, I'm not going to do the thing that I used to do and try and scramble with the editing. I'm actually just going to spend no more than 2 hours per day on one review, because if you try to say, I'm going to get this done in one afternoon session, you're going to be fatigued, tired, and grumpy afterwards. So basically, Oni syndrome. I am tired. I am fatigued. And I feel the need to go watch a Dim Cornette podcast. I already feel bad about myself. Why not go feel bad some more? Would you like some chicken hot wings? Not that bad.
Just as long as it's not spicy nuggets.
Yeah, please no.
Will you try Elman's homemade homebrew? Do I look like I wish to punish myself? You went and had hot Mountain Dew. Go away.
Oh, y'all didn't. Y'all
We
did.
did. We did.
Oh,
They did.
no.
I wasn't okay. It still left my mouth a little dry. He threw up.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Unfortunately, he was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 at the time.
Oh, God.
Well, I reckon.
Do you have a face cam?
No, he
No.
did not.
Oh, damn. That would have been so much sweeter.
Some say the West was already built on sickness and depravity. Then one day a stranger by Mr. Rakaku wandered into town and told people of the future about a victory road where somebody messed up a wrestling event. Here, in 1876, we have no idea what that means. And he spouted of a thing called logic. Well, here in the West, we don't do logic. We do moonshine. I'm trying to get off that stuff. And one day there will be an amazing lawman, only known as the Raiden Man, who will dish out justice by slandering. Yo.
It's my ultimate form of creative thinking.
Oh, yes. Okay. Let's get to some topics. Let me see. Oh, well, just when we thought we were going to be on a slightly upturn, some people are having some issues IRL. We won't go into it, but they're about to not feel so great. Netflix may introduce ads this year, according to this report. The whole reason some people go to Netflix is because you pay subscriptions, therefore cut out the middleman with the ads. Netflix may be adding an ad-supported tier before the year is over, according to the reports. The New York Times wrote about the bubbling effort at the streamer. Their piece indicates that executives have told employees that lower price subscription tier could come in the last 3 months of this year. That's way sooner than people thought it could be coming. Murmurs of a lower tier plan held up by advertising that have been around for years now, but the volume has gotten louder at the beginning of this year, with the company losing so many subscribers due to a number of factors. It would seem that leadership is trying to course correct as quickly as it can. However, implementing an entirely different tier is hard work and remains to be seen if they can abide by such a strict timeline. Well, let's put it this way, if you weren't losing subscribers, maybe you shouldn't be telling people how they should handle their politics. Just saying. Our revenue growth Our revenue growth has slowed considerably as our results and our forecast below show. Again, I reiterate, stop telling people how to think. Netflix executive. Oh yeah, that reminds me. The horror survivor movie, The Hunt. What a bunch of condescending.
Oh no! No.
I saw the kill. I saw the kill count for that. Yeah, that shit was.
Same, I did too.
That
Dare I even ask?
woke survival horror movie.
Yeah, it's kind of. It's
God,
kind of.
why?
I actually sympathized with, the surviving protagonist. I'm like, I'm with her. This is bullshit. I heard so many buzz are like, oh, that's so appropriation. Oh, you gendered this conversation. Oh, bag of deplorables. I'm like, ugh.
Shut up. Jeez.
Please.
God, it's like, God, this sounds like what? God, it's like torturing yourself watching the after movies.
Blech.
Here's the thing. I decided to build upon what I've been currently doing with my mental therapy. I'll keep this as short and to the point as possible. I've been having mental therapy for OCD. Trust me, that's not something you want hanging around you too long. And one of the things that my therapist said is exposing yourself to your fears and your obsessions. So things like overhand washing, checking that you've put things away, and the way that what they refer to as aggressive behavioral therapy is you, instead of say spending 3 minutes washing your hands, you just wash your hands for maybe just under a minute, and then you walk away from it and you don't come back to it. You get it. I think of it as, think of your exposing yourself to your compulsions like sitting in a hot tub. It's a little overwhelming at first, but after a while you're like, you know what, this is actually kind of nice. You just get desensitized to it. So I decided to take things a step further. I'm like, okay, let's go watch a couple of horror movies on Netflix. I saw Night Thief. Not bad. I like the protagonist, Benny. He's cool. Kind of reminds me of one of the Wayans brothers. He was the one who played Will's father in Bel Air.
Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, he kind of reminded me like a younger version of that, but just this very, very chill, but still very enthusiastic because he's studying economics and music and what have you. And he steps in, he poses as his brother, as an Uber driver, but what he doesn't know is his two customers are vampires.
Yeah.
And one of them, she's just grade A asshole. Whereas the other one's like, she enjoys what she does, but she's kind of looking out for Benny. And there were some points where they're at one of their friends' house and they're out by the pool and they're just talking, and I've just sort of said out loud, "Oh, for goodness sake, will you just kiss her already?"
Well, you could say this for them. At least we know one of them's a pain in the neck.
Wow.
Ah,
And sort of some way before, where they were sort of locking eyes, I kind of imagine sort of Liz coming for us like, okay, this is bullshit. If you're not gonna make out with her, I will. Because lady in question is a cutie, Liz.
I'll take your word for it.
I then watched Werewolves Within. Oh my gosh, as a horror comedy, this movie doesn't give a shit. And it's kind of a little bit predictable. The one who happens to be the werewolf, because it kind of goes for the movie where the werewolf is just like an idea. And it's just like, it's someone within the group that's just, taking each other out. Because at one stage you think it's this lady that's lost her dog, it's this guy who has this oil pipeline, but no, in the end it turns out to be the postal worker. but it's
It's always the postal workers,
well, it's one,
or the butler if you want to get meta.
but well, at the risk of going punished, I guess that's one way for her to go postal. But the way it's just done, it's just like, ugh, really? And yeah, I've just been doing small things just to, get myself desensitized, just to be like, they're just movies. There are no werewolves out in the world. Well, there's a mental condition where patients in question think they turn into these creatures, but again, it's just a mental condition that there's just something wrong with them on a personal level. And then I stumbled onto V-Wars, which has Adrian Holmes as Patient Zero. At first, they go by as vampires, then they refer to themselves as the Bloods, which I'm like, pretty sure there are probably some gang communities that go by that name as well. So I'm like, don't know if that was the right
Careful
idea.
there.
Yeah. But they kind of throw away some of the vampire stereotypes. If they're out in the sunlight, they don't burn. And this time, the vampire element is like a virus, and I'm like, ooh, that's a little bit too on the nose at the moment.
Yeah, considering what's happened over the last 2 years with the crisis,
Yeah.
awkward.
So I've just been doing small things to, because small little true story, saw Dog Soldiers back in 2002, and by the way, Asylum or Blumhouse, this is how you do horror movies on a budget and actually make them good. Just saying.
Yeah. I've heard some good things about it.
I think because most of the horror elements are done within the shadows, and whenever you do see the prosthetic costumes, they try to use their, the elements of being out in the forest, being out at night. They try to make it work, because sometimes the prosthetics, again, because it's on a budget, they try to make what they have work for them. But when you only have a small amount, you think, okay, let's make the best of what we have with this. I think the one that caught people off guard is when the nature photographer turns, because she happened to be masking as human, and for whatever reason she was able to starve off her change for so long just so she could let the rest of the pack in. But I think the painful moment was when you see the sergeant, played by Sean Pertwee, who seems to have a penchant for being in horror related stuff, and he was the one who played Alfred in Gotham.
Okay.
It's when you see him turning towards the end, but because there was enough spark of his humanity left, he cuts the gas line and just lights a match and just burns all of them out. And this was around the time England had a rather big win over the German national side in football, and it goes to like after the corporal walks out with the family dog. His little story, the story is like, my platoon was eaten by werewolves, is just like a small little excerpt in the top right hand corner of the newspaper, whereas the rest of the paper is dominated by England 6, Germany 1. And I'm like, really, guys? But I remember for about maybe close to a week, I was a little bit on edge walking home And it didn't help that the road leading up to my street, they were putting in new street lamps, and they hadn't turned them on that night.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm walking almost in pitch black out there, and I'm just sort of, and this is like, I'm finished about like 10 in the evening, and I'm walking home still, with a little bit of anxiety, because if you watch horror movies at night and you're the anxious type, you're going to be a little bit, no pun intended, wary, because you're walking around, you're just like, just get to my front door, and then it's like, get in, slide in real quick, and then deadbolt latches, and it's just like, because one movie I've been told not to watch, and this comes from Steve the Vince Wilton. How you doing, buddy? He says, do not watch the Babadook.
Oh yeah, I heard some things about that movie.
I've heard about the Babadook, but not the movie.
Yeah, he's basically said, like,
I remember the Angry Video Game Nerd talking about it a few years back. Well, James Rolfe, but
Cinemassacre.
Yes.
So, yeah, I've been, like I say, just doing small things just to sort of shake things out. Netflix, there's something you need to know. That's stupid, you're stupid, stop being stupid. Yes. So, yeah. That's where we're at.
One little recommendation, since you did watch Dog Soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Check out Love, Death, Robots.
Oh, yes.
I love that series.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Yeah. I remember seeing a music video of it, and oh my god, the CGI they used for that episode was really dope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Volume 3 is coming out this month too.
Oh.
Yeah, they put out a trailer for it this last week.
I think two of my favorite episodes was Good Hunting and Fish Night.
Oh my god, I love Good Hunting.
The one.
That's like my favorite episode.
I think
the mini episode I enjoyed was the one with this. I think it was like a monk student in. I'm not sure if it was Japan or China, and he sees this girl who can turn.
Oh, that's Good Hunting. That's it was. I think it was China.
Yeah.
The animation for that. Wow.
Yeah.
Not to mention, one of the voices who voiced in that short was Somali Montano, aka Transformers Prime RC.
Yay!
Because you don't really see high tier animation like that, but I think if you've got, say, these mini episodes, you can spend much more money producing something akin to Castlevania animation.
Oh.
Because that is really well done.
And there's also supposed to be a Kong Skull Island anime coming out in the sometime in the future, either this year or next year. But it's set in the 1930s on Skull Island before the Kong Skull Island movie.
Ooh.
So kind of like a prequel. You were saying, Raiden?
I'm still waiting for the guy behind Castlevania to do that Devil May Cry series.
Ooh.
I also wait for the next season of Castlevania, because I did hear they might do the Rondo Blood storyline with Richter Belmont, who is my personal favorite Belmont of the Belmont family. And it leads to Symphony of the Night.
Well, why am I being
Then we finally get Simon Belmont.
Oh, now I'm just reminded of that old video from Random back in the day where they did a dramatic reading of I think it was a Castlevania fan fiction.
All right.
Oh, that was fun.
Just to finish up on this, streaming is winning over linear as we predicted, and Netflix titles are very popular globally. However, our relatively high household penetration, when including the large number of households sharing accounts, combined with competition, is creating revenue growth headwinds. The big COVID boost to streaming obscured the picture until recently, while we work to re-accelerate our revenue growth through improvements to our service and more effective monetization of multi-household sharing. We'll be holding our operating margin around 20%. All of this has led to shareholders suing Netflix. These individuals argue that they were misled about the state of the company and the outlook for the future. In the document, the shareholders allege that Netflix made materially false and or misleading statements, as well as failed to disclose material advertised facts about the company's business, operations, and prospects. In particular, they too issue with the slower than forecasted growth of the streamer with the information available to them. The document itself adds, Netflix positive statements about the company's business, operations, and prospects were materially false and or misleading and or lacked a reasonable basis, considering how they were exhibiting slower acquisition growth and experiencing difficulties retaining customers. Would you be interested in Netflix paid advertising tier? Let us know down in the comments below. 2 simple words. Hell no!
Nada.
Nope.
Here's the thing. I appreciate times have been really tough. I understand that. But wise men say, do not bite the hand that feeds you. Because, I mean, I put it with commercials on YouTube because I already pay for Netflix once a month, and that's $9.99 out of my pocket. I don't go to Disney Plus because, again, I have to operate on a shoestring budget, and I struggle just to keep myself afloat each month. So, Netflix coming in. Here's the thing. If Netflix come in and say there will be a 10-second commercial before the movie or the show starts going, and then there's a commercial at the end that's only 10 seconds, then I don't have a problem with that. But if it's like what some YouTube partners do, where you see multiple commercials are only like spaced apart like 2 to 3 minutes, it's like, guys, we're trying to watch. And I know why they do it, because they want people to pay the higher tier so you can remove the ads like they have with YouTube, Premium, but that costs money each month as well, and they forget not all of us have Mr. Beast's bank account. That would be nice in particular because, well, I would be doing this for a full-time living, and Oni would suddenly wake up one morning, hey honey, what is it, dude? MJ bought everything on my wish list. Hey Dad, what? And then Raiden wakes up morning. Raiden, what is it, Mom? You got every Gundam figure delivered to you. What? He's like wide awake. He's like, I'm going to be busy for the next few months. What will you be needing any Dr. Pepper? Oh yes. Chilled. The doctor is going to operate.
Oh Jesus.
Leonie would want some too.
I think you would.
I won't be selfish. I'd give half.
So, long story short, because I am trying to not go off on these long tangents so much, I understand why Netflix are doing this, but at the same time, if they thought they were suffering before with their, with their subscribers closing their accounts and going elsewhere, They ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh boy.
So, Stephen, your 2 cents.
Yeah, they're just trying to rake in any cash. I think it's just the fact that they don't want people to be sharing accounts so they can not not lose revenue just by charging each individual person rather than entire households. Yada yada yada. They're just finding more ways to try and squeeze the pennies from the people. They're gonna run into a few problems with that.
Because what they forget is they're not the only game in town anymore. You got Amazon
Uh-huh.
Prime, you got Paramount Plus, HBO Max, which is only available to the United States at the moment, and of course you've got Disney Plus. But here's the thing: I've got all the MCU movies that I want on DVD and Blu-ray. I don't really want to sign up for Disney Plus. Plus, I'm not too big a fan of some of their modern movies. I don't know. Here's the thing. I would rather watch, say, The Little Mermaid from '89 as opposed to some of the other Disney movies that they've put out in recent years. And just a heads up, Zavi are selling The Little Mermaid on Blu-ray for $6.99 at the moment. Just in case people are interested.
And that just reminds me of the announcement that the voice of Ariel herself will be attending Comic-Con Manchester in July.
Nice. And it has to be said, the animation, the story, the performances, they all hold up. And whoever voiced Ursula in that, I think Mark Hamill would have tapped on it. Excuse me, mistress, but hamming it up is supposed to be my gimmick. Now hand over that role now. I will play Ursula. The Joker as Ursula. No. So much no. He will enjoy that way too much.
And somewhere.
I've checked. It's Pat Carroll.
Oh.
Yeah, that woman has so much hammy sass. I just feel like just like going through the script. Okay, honey, you're enjoying this way too much. Calm it down and stick to the story, because when you chew up the scene, worse than Anthony Hopkins and Mark Hamill. And would you say RDJ was a scene chewer, or is it his is a bit more mild?
A bit more mild, I'd say.
All right. So yeah.
Why I'm saying that? Why am I getting an image of Skeletor teaming up with Elsa?
Oh,
Ursula.
let it go.
Ursula, or whatever.
Also get this. Get this. Pat Carroll's 95.
Oh, wow.
Damn. Then again.
Yeah, she was even Ursula in the Kingdom Hearts series.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because they did do some Little Mermaid levels.
Mm-hmm.
I think when they did either it was the first Adam West modern Batman straight to DVD movie, or was the second one, one of the original Catwoman actresses actually came back to reprise her role, and it's just like, okay, the voice is seasoned, but she still got it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Then again, so did Alan Young when he came back for DuckTales Remastered. It's like, the guy was like, what, 91, 92? Came in and knocked it out the park.
And that was one of his final roles. May he rest in peace.
But you get some actors where they're born to play those roles. Alan Young as Scrooge, Jim Cummings as Darkwing, Kevin Conroy as Batman, if he actually tried to do the effort these days, and Neil McDonough as Bruce Banner from the '96 animated Hulk series, and Christopher Daniel Barnes as Spidey. And this is the thing that people forget. He was Prince Eric in The Little Mermaid.
Oh!
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Disney connection.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's just so weird that it's just a tinsel voice from your childhood, and then later here, get back here, Shocker! Shocker!
Oh no!
I'll hunt you down to the ends of the earth.
Bruh.
It's weird when I hear him as Prince Eric. I'm like, why am I visualizing Spidey talking to Ariel? Whoever's listening, I want a picture of that right now.
Oh God, no!
Well, Mary Jane is a redhead.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Right.
I don't dislike the iteration of Mary Jane in the animated series. It's just...
Instant dunce.
No. Oh, no. Compared to Kirsten, the 90s animated series was a step up, but you could never get a read on her. You felt...
I frankly, honestly wanted him to get with Felicia. No
Same.
offense.
Well,
Yeah.
and also the voice actress when she puts on Black Cat. I remember sort of...
Jennifer Hale.
Yeah, I remember sort of thinking at the time when she's doing that voice, I'm like, I don't know whether to be impressed or be like, hey baby, how you doing? Because she knows how to put that very low, sultry voice, and it's just like, it's like, Marvel, are you trying to entertain us, or are you trying to implant ideas in your male audience's head? Because they didn't leave much imagination to her costume, because curves. It's like, I don't think you're supposed to show off that much. I mean, today they know better, but back then you're like, okay, make of that what you will. Me personally, best love interest that Spidey's ever had in any continuity, Gwen Stacy, The Amazing Spider-Man series. End of.
Oh yeah.
End of.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only does Gwen not put up with his nonsense, she helps him, but she's a strong female character done right. She sets
And
him...
it also helped Emma Stone. How you doing?
Well, too often in Hollywood, and I'm just saying this as is, they tend to go for pretty face, but not much talent. Whereas with Emma Stone, her talent as an actress matches her appearance, because, only speaking as a guy, she's absolutely gorgeous. But you see her with the scenes with Garfield, and it's just like, it works. And of course, she did La La Land with Ryan Gosling, which I really need to take a look at some stage, because it did get a lot of good praise from the public, which is rare. But yeah, we're going off onto tangents again. So yeah,
Oops.
like I say, reiterate, Netflix, get why they do it, but not a fan. Madam President, your address.
You see, this is the reason why streaming services don't have commercials. Because they don't need them, because we're paying for the service that you're giving us. You're just adding to more shit, and we don't need that. Plus, if you're supporting advertisements of companies that we don't support, and you're just ramming it down our throats, you know what it's gonna do? I'm like, let's see what Disney Plus has something to do. Oh, let's see what Hulu's up to. Let's see what Paramount Plus is doing, and that's a last resort.
Yeah.
Let's be freaking honest here. Nobody wants to switch to Paramount Plus, but you make people want to realize that you have a problem, Netflix. You have a lot of problems, but like the myriad of issues we have with your freaking company is a little bit too long for us to list, because we'd be here all damn day.
Yeah.
All in all, no, don't bring commercials. I get why you're doing it, but no! You're losing your freaking losing subscribers because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're freaking. Not only that, you're canceling or not even producing content that people would actually watch, but you're making us watch crap.
Like The Hunt.
Or The Boss Baby. Are we gonna talk
And
about The Boss Baby?
And 365 days.
Seriously?
The only enjoyable part about that movie is that Alex Myers makes hilarious videos about that shit because, oh god, that's terrible. But the point is, fuck you, Netflix. Don't put commercials in things. It's bad enough that YouTube does it, but that's a different can of worms altogether.
Yeah.
All in all, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. I hope you guys go broke or whatever, and whatever. These other shows that were actually decent, find better homes. Okay, so yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Dan just made a point about Paramount Plus though, because it does have the Knuckles series.
That is true.
That's a good point. Damn, you're right.
I mean,
Damn it!
And a lot of the Ninja Turtle series.
Because they're in Viacom.
And Nickelodeon, etc. Blah blah blah.
Although the quartering made an interesting point a while ago, it will get to such a point where so many new streaming services pop up that it'll be like a renaissance for cable TV packages where, because essentially speaking, streaming services is basically like cable TV, watching what you want, how you want to watch it. It's just now it'll be coming from their library, whether you've got Sky, Virgin, Verizon, or Comcast over in the States. But instead of like paying, say, $9.99 each for say 6 to 7 different streaming services, you get it for half that by just going back to cable, which streaming services is the reason that people moved away from cable, because they didn't want TV packages. But when it starts to cost the same amount, if not less, than what they're paying for streaming, then TV may just have a golden renaissance period. It's like I say, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And Raiden has been waiting exceedingly patient to give his 2 cents. So, sir, I leave you with the floor to say as much as you want or as little as you want regarding this.
I can't hold you. I'm disappointed because there was a lot of Netflix original content that I watched on the daily back then. That's with the Marvel side, from Daredevil to Luke Cage.
Same.
Iron Fist. But yeah. There's also other good stuff, but I don't know. For me, I've just been so stuck with other streaming services, from Disney Plus to Paramount Plus, Amazon. You know those things.
Yeah.
All that. After time, I do catch up with it. I mean, I recently finally finished the second season. Well, it was the last couple of weeks, but it's in the second season of Pacific Rim: The Black. Once again, depression shit, but honestly, I'll take that over Pacific Rim Up Yours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like the action and all that.
So Kaiju.
Currently, I could not believe it already had a second season, but the second season of Ultraman. That's been pretty good. Go commercial BS, ads, whatnot. In a sense, I saw that shit coming. That's just the product of the times. I'm like, whatever. Karma's a bitch, and that thing's gonna just rise up until things get better, which I think it won't. But we'll see if Netflix can get back into this or whatnot. So I ain't really stressing as long as I got the stuff that I care about. Simple as that.
All right. Okay, we'll consider that done. Onto something. Well, not sure how you will take or not take this, but it looks like one particular project is finally seeing the light of day.
Oh.
Everything we know about Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Huh. Okay.
Really?
More than 20 years since the last movie, Beverly Hills Cop 4 is finally moving forward with production. The classic trilogy is getting a long-awaited sequel in Beverly Hills Cop 4. Ever since the third movie was released, which, if I'm not mistaken, that was considered the weakest of the trilogy, this sequel has been teased many times, but in the end is cancelled over and over again. Even with the time that has passed since the last movie, the series was popular enough upon its release that Paramount was not ready to give up on its sequel. Trilogy star Eddie Murphy has claimed that he wouldn't do the movie until the script was right, which was the biggest issue this production has had. Paramount Pictures made a deal with Netflix to produce the movie, and things are looking up for the sequel with new directors and a new screenwriter. Not only is Murphy on board with the current progress of the script, but the studio is already scheduling a 2-month shoot in California. Though there is no release date or plot announced for the movie yet, there are other details that have been revealed. Here's what's in the works. So far, it is confirmed that Murphy will return to reprise his role as Axel Foley, and let's call this for as it is. It's more than likely this will be the last entry, because as good as Eddie looks, he's not getting any younger.
No.
As the star of the franchise, it's hard to make a sequel without him. However, nothing else has been announced regarding the cast. It's not clear whether some recurring characters such as Detective Sergeant William Billy Rosewood, played by Judge Reynolds, or Detective Sergeant John Taggart, played by John Ashton, will return. There are some people who feel that the movie wouldn't be the same without them. Nonetheless, it's certain that new characters and newer actors will be introduced, considering how long it's been since that movie's release. According to Deadline, Mark Malloy recently signed on to direct the project, replacing Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, who had signed in 2016. Hope I pronounced that correctly, by the way. The studio is due for their... The duo is known for their action movies, recently directing the 2020 success Bad Boys for Life. Beverly Hills Cop 4 will mark Malloy his first feature film for a major studio, as the rising star has gained acclaim on the commercial circuit, specifically with Apple spots. Malloy is joined by an unrevealed screenwriter to help shape the movie, but hopefully this will be the last time they need to change members of the production team, as production can't move forward when they keep on changing. This is evident from the 2 different producers. The current producer is unknown, along with 3 different directors and 5 different screenwriters that have tried and failed to bring this project to life. Considering the current success of the new directors and the investment Netflix is putting into it, this looks like the best chance the movie has yet. Netflix and Paramount made the Beverly Hills Cop deal in 2019, got there eventually, just before the worldwide event. That has certainly put a damper on plans, delaying any possible filming the same way that everything else in the industry was affected. Because of this, there are a few details released of the current attempt at the movie based on the other attempts, though there are some things that probably they won't try again and can be cleared out of the way for the new sequel. First things first, Beverly Hills Cop 4 was first announced shortly after the release of the third movie. Originally planned to be released in the mid-90s, but plans fell through. It was announced once more in 2006, but was once again shelved when they decided to make a TV series spin-off. Intriguing. The TV series was going to focus around Axel's son, Aaron. Close to the release of that, Paramount announced they were going to give the movie another try. However, even after filming the pilot episode, CBS passed on the series and the show never aired. Eddie Murphy didn't want to keep bringing his character back for it, and the studio didn't want to do it without him, so it fell apart. Paramount did try and release the movie again in 2016, going so far as to have a release date for late March. They had contracts with the city of Detroit to do filming, but was pulled from release due to concerns with the script. Murphy wouldn't shoot the movie unless the script was right, which clearly wasn't even after several rewrites. Still, just 2 months after the supported March release was when Paramount hired the current directors, and now with Netflix's deal, they finally seem to be heading in the right direction. Not only is Netflix on board to film and release Beverly Hills Cop 4, but the contract with Paramount even offers a possible 5th movie if this one is well received. All eyes should be on Netflix now as they hopefully solve the issues that Paramount could never figure out, and maybe the buddy cop classic can finally ascend from developmental hell. Okay.
That's a lot to take in.
Yes. I mean, with Murphy these days, he is basically in semi-retirement. He will only come to set if he likes the script. It's kind of like what Daniel Day-Lewis did with Gangs of New York 20 years ago. I mean, the actor had been retired for a few years, and someone presented him with the script, and he's like, I'll do it. Because here's the thing. To my understanding with Murphy, he doesn't really have too much of a lavish lifestyle. You know, he tends to keep very low profile. He's got Lord knows how many kids and 1 or 2 grandchildren. I still can't get over the fact that he's actually the father to Scary Spice's daughter. I don't think it's Phoenix Chi, I think it's someone else. But she has a daughter by him. And, you know, it's not like, say, with, say, the likes of football player Wayne Rooney when he was really raking in the money. Just for a little bit of context, Rooney turned professional at 16 and was given a full-time contract with Everton. So he went from living in a caravan, or the equivalency of a trailer park, in the UK to earning 25 grand a week. Do you really think it's a good idea to give a 16-year-old 25 grand a week when they have no concept of how to be responsible with that money? I mean, that'd be like one of Liz's nephews being given that money. Ooh, I got $20,000. No, some of that's going towards your rent, young man.
But I want to buy a car, bro. I want to buy like 10 cars.
How about you have 10 cars when you have a spotless clean license and actually pass your driver's exam cleanly? Oh man.
I do have my license. How about not losing your car in Tucson? Because that's what happened.
Oh dear.
It's complicated.
We will ask no further. I feel like if... Alright. You could make the distinction and the argument that a 22 or 23-year-old is not really still that responsible to handle that kind of money, but I think because they would have been out in the working world a little bit, or they've had time to settle into their craft somewhat more, they could be a little bit more mature and responsible. But then, as we've seen with some people in their 30s and 40s that get kind of money, they're no more responsible than other people. I think it just depends on the maturity of the person in question, because sometimes you can get someone at 15 who has more maturity and wisdom than, say, someone 30 years his senior. You know, it depends how they are mentally, what environment they've grown up in, and how they've been taught that kind of mental maturity, for want of a better description. So in Murphy's case, again, he doesn't strike me as somebody who, you know, goes to all the clubs, because I mean, guy's in his 50s now. He probably just looks to be like low-key and just enjoy what he has. So in terms of financing, he's already set up for life and probably the next 4 to 5 of them, considering how long he's been active as an actor and as a singer as well. Because people forget, he did actually have music out back in the day.
Party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
And that's the other thing. I don't think you'll ever get somebody who's got such a signature smile or charisma, the way he can talk himself out of a situation, like when he was Buddy Love in The Nutty Professor, even though he's acting a little bit a-hole-ish around some people, he does it in a way that's like, oh, you. So yeah, if we do get the fourth movie, I think it's got to be one of those. First and foremost, it should be for the fans as well, because they've waited a long time for this. In a similar vein to Ghostbusters 3, Top Gun 2, Tron Legacy, you've got to do things in such a way whereby the patience is worth it. Because as we've mentioned in the past, Tron Legacy, dependent on who you speak to, there's divided opinions about it. For me,
I still love the whole virtual world, the effects, costumes. I mean, the movie wasn't all that too good, but I still love that. Still love the aesthetic.
oh yeah, absolutely. For me, it just would have been better if they actually focused on the titular character and not the father-son dynamic. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
it'd be like the presidential lifestyles of Madam President Rikaku, and you spend 40 minutes about Elfman trying to be in an emo punk band. I need my Heath later. Elfman! Supposed to be focusing on Liz. Yes. But people must know my suffering. He's not gonna call you back. You don't know that. He's listening somewhere. It's like, why is he stealing my ideas? It's like, why is he giving me ideas like, Elman, the last thing in the world that you ever need is ideas. Oh, yes, I know. I mean, particularly, and you can blame Oni for this, Elman just went off in one episode of RDR, where it's like, surprise, like, Money in the Bank contract, surprise tag match, and then Oni, of all people, says this, which gets Elman, well, too excited.
Oh God, no!
Oh, what the fuck?
And all you could hear from
Done.
all you could hear from Elman for the next 2 minutes was, hello. All you could hear from
no.
Okay, continue.
All you could hear from Elman for the next minute is like, hello, hello, ooh yes, I'm slipping in the ring, hello, and there's me, Weavile, on the floor, gasping for air.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh wow. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So, long story short, I'm hoping the wait is worth it, because you don't leave a 25 plus year gap. I mean, when was Beverly Hills Cop 3? Early 90s? Let me see.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Beverly Hills Cop. That was 94, so you've had a 28-year gap. You've got to make this wait worth it. So I'll wait and see with a trailer or like a specific feature, like 10-minute feature presentation, just to give us an idea of what we're going through, because what kind of Axel Foley are we going to see? Because very few people are the same after a 30-year time period, because some do. Some people never change, because apparently Garfield creator Jim Davis still sees the world the same way he saw it when he originally started writing Garfield comic strips for the newspapers. He still has the same mentality from the 70s to today. So I think it depends on the person, because some people go through things that in their life that change them. Sometimes for the better, sometimes not so much. So yeah, I'll be interested to see if we're getting charismatic, fun-loving Axel Foley, if not slightly distinguished, which I can sort of see Eddie carrying that type of role where, like I say, Axel might have gone through changes, but he knows how to sort of go about his business and what have you. But I don't know. I mean, we didn't know how the original Ghostbusters would be in Ghostbusters 3, and then you see them at the end of Afterlife, and Venkman's exactly the same from 84, and I'm like, oh no. I mean, Ernie Hudson, he doesn't ever change, and I think that's a good thing. Also, he was in Battle Dogs, and I'm like, Ernie, what are you doing, man? Why do you keep picking bad movies to be in?
I mean, dare we mention the movie that should not be named that I will still slander to the day I die?
If it's the one I think you're talking about, it's like, yeah, I'm looking at him in that movie like, hey, Ernie, why are you here? You're better than
Because
this.
I'm also
money.
looking at Chow. I'm also looking at Chow Yun Fat too.
To be fair, I feel like he did the Roshi role pretty much what I was expecting, but because it's live action, they kind of toned the perviness of Roshi down, because DBE was PG-13, 12 in the UK, so you can have like implied moments, but my goodness, Team 4-Star go the whole freaking 15 yards with Roshi as a dirty old man, especially what he named his submarine.
Oh dear.
Oh God! Please tell me you
You're
mean the
evil.
submarine.
He goes and says this.
Oh no.
I know.
I have a bad
Oh
feeling about this.
no!
I do.
Please tell me you mean the submarine.
Oh.
Ugh.
Also, I saw the thing.
Ah.
Oh, I saw that news article.
Oh, sweet. Oh, nice. The thing with Tennant, I mean, alright, you can tell he's aged, but he hasn't aged too much. So that'll be refreshing to see him come back as his iteration of the Doctor.
I think it's because next year will be the 60th anniversary of the franchise.
Yeah.
So, as well as having the new Doctor, they've also got a bit in the way of specials coming up for that year. It's like they've got multiple stories possibly featuring old Doctors and companions coming back.
Ooh.
That's kind of cool.
And I always liked the Doctor and Donna as a double.
Yeah.
And it's not just because I was able to get a picture with the pair of them. I mean, even when they did audio dramas for Big Finish, you can tell the dynamic is there.
Raiden, do you still want a Beverly Hills Cop 4? Do you feel like too much time has passed to where does the audience still care?
I'll be honest with you. I never was a big Beverly Hills Cop guy. When I did see the first one and the second one. I don't think I saw the third one, but I thought they were good for what they were. But from what I heard from this director who did Bad Boys for Life, which I really enjoyed that movie, I'm having second thoughts. I don't know. I might check it out, even though it's not my real thing, biggest thing. But I don't know. I think when it comes to things that doesn't come out for a long time, you finally say, "Hey, this was great." Like for example, when Samurai Jack finally came back off there after all these years.
Hmm.
It came out with a trailer, like we didn't know what was going on, and then we see just scenes of it a few years back, and then, bam, there you go. So I think with this, if the fan base wants it, okay. Some of them want it. It's there. There. It's kind of like how Eddie Murphy did with Coming to America. The sequel to Coming to
Yeah.
America. For what it's worth, I thought that movie was pretty good. It's never gonna top the original, but for what it's worth, I like how things have switched up for a bit and still pretty fun.
Yeah.
So with this, we'll see.
I like the fact that James Earl Jones actually came back to reprise his role for that movie. I'm like, you can't, do Hakeem's father without Jones, because like that, very powerful baritone voice that he has is just like, yeah, that works. Madam President, what do you feel about the fact that number 4 is finally moving forward?
I mean, again, I'm kind of like Raiden. I wasn't a big into Beverly Hills Cop. Don't get me wrong. I did like some of the movies. They were okay, but I'm of two minds about it, because one hand, it's like I would like to see if Eddie could pull it off again, because he hasn't exactly been on the scene lately. And I want to see if he can still go. And on the other hand, has it been too long for them to do a proper sequel?
Yeah.
I mean, this is coming from an age where Avatar, the new Avatar movie's barely coming out, like what, over 10 years later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least it's getting off the ground faster than Avatar. But again, I'm of two minds about it. I'll save my opinion for when I see a trailer, if it's any good. If it's not, I'm just gonna be like, skip. I don't know.
I think the only thing that I would probably find reprising or pleasing about Avatar is the fact that that Nefertiri is going to be back, and I don't know what it was, but the way Zoe was able to portray that character, even though it's her motion capture acting, she is acting as that character, even though how you'll see her is completely different to how you would normally see her. You feel like that character is hers, and she puts so much of that emotion, even with the way that they capture the eye movement. That's not something you can teach with traditional digital animation, where you tell the computer you want the character to look this way and what have you. So I like the fact that with her character, she's not sure about Jake, but at the same time she's like, I find you fascinating. I'm gonna keep you at arm's length, but I like you just a little bit. Steve, Beverly Hills 4, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a bit on the fence about it, maybe, because much like Raiden, never saw much of the Beverly Hills Cop franchise to make a judgment.
Fair enough.
I think I'm gonna have to put a mulligan into it, mainly because I'm not too familiar with the franchise to get an understanding of how it would work in after such a long time.
Hmm.
If done right, if with the right script, it could work, but it's just a question of time.
Yeah.
Say,
We've all seen how Jason Reitman and Sony Pictures were able to bring Ghostbusters back to relevancy with Afterlife. Because I like the fact, I think I speak for everybody when I say is the fact that that movie completely disregards Feedbusters outright, and it just continues from where the second movie left off, albeit some 30 years later, but that's not the point. It's the fact that it was able to continue the story, but it passes the torch, and we might just get that with Axel passing the baton with this movie, but then it comes back to Beverly Hills. Eddie Murphy was central. Yes, he needed other people to work off to be able to sell the jokes, but you couldn't do a future Beverly Hills movie without him. So yeah, I want to see it happen just so that the fans can have closure, but I have my skeptical reasons and what have you. And speaking of skepticism and bringing back franchises as well, Avatar: The Way of the Water trailer reveals how Dead Villain will return. The trailer has seemingly revealed how a dead villain will be resurrected. The recently released trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water gave us a whole lot of lush imagery to stare in awe and explore for clues that might provide some insight into the direction of the long-awaited sequel. While a potential clue may have been found as the trailer seemingly reveals the shocking and very intriguing return of a dead villain. Be warned, potential spoilers to follow. The first footage from The Way of the Water seems to reveal how Stephen Lang's Colonel Miles Quaritch will be resurrected with the merciless mercenary now inhabiting an avatar body. While unconfirmed, the military-style haircut and tattoo on his upper arm are a dead giveaway, which likely means that yes, Colonel Miles Quaritch will be in Avatar: The Way of the Water. This opens up the sequel to all manner of possibilities as the villain is brought back to life, this time with the same advantages as our hero, Jake, and the native Na'vi. No relation to the sadly departed Kitty. Stephen Lang's bad guy, Miles, was first introduced in the first Avatar back in 2009. The head of the mining operations security detail, Quaritch is fiercely consistent in his disregard for any life that is not recognized as a human. Don't ever let that guy to a furry convention then. And harbors a real hatred for the natives of Pandora. An outlook that should be interesting when he awakens in an Avatar body in the follow-up. The finale of Avatar sees Quaritch killed by Neytiri, saving Jake in the process. While he certainly appeared dead, clearly something will happen between then and now that takes Quaritch's wicked mind and transports it into a big blue body. Will it be the doing of the mining company RDA, who are not yet ready to say goodbye to the most valuable military asset? Did Quaritch himself drag his nearly lifeless body to some machinery and make the change in the name of surviving and take his revenge on Jake? Or has Awa been up to something mysterious? Whatever this method may be, it is sure to give Quaritch a fascinating arc in the Avatar saga. While we do not know the details of his return, we have known for some time that Colonel Quaritch will make a comeback. According to Stephen Lang, the character, in fact, should feature in all four of the upcoming sequels. James Cameron, do you think people have the patience to, considering it's taken 14, nearly 13 years just for one sequel to be done, do you really think we're prepared to wait 13, 26, 39, 52 years for more sequels? You won't even be around by that point. And so, I think you can absolutely look for some areas of extreme growth in the character, and then probably areas of regression in the character as well, hopefully over a period of 4 more films. Of course, we need him to be very, very interesting by the end. You've taken a journey, or you've witnessed a character go on a life journey that was pretty interesting. You know that you were glad that you could observe, so that's what we're trying to do. Directed by Cameron and starring Sam Worthington, it's probably the first thing he's done in Lord knows how long. And Zoe Saldana, The Way of Water is due for release on December 16, 2022. Okay, they'd better have a cohesive and solid written reason for bringing Quaritch back, because the character was impaled. You don't come back from that easily.
Multiple times, might we add, by arrows.
Yeah. So... And also, he was exposed to, Pandora's air, which is toxic for human consumption, so... There's no way in this story he would have been able to crawl into machinery and get himself put in, so... I'm sorry. I don't know. And also the fact that after 13 years, this is another one that's just laid dormant for so long. And the impression I'm getting is, because according to Cameron, he's filmed all the sequels, because they've done this thing where they filmed them, all of them, back to back,
simultaneously.
Yeah, with all the motion capture footage and what have you. So presumably from 2022 to 2025, we're gonna get an Avatar movie each Christmas.
Hey, something I didn't want! Yay!
Don't worry,
Look at it this way.
Don't worry, we'll have the Oni Rakaku Christmas special on Twitch where you'll hear my lovely singing voice each Christmas Eve. And then Liz is like, honey, no.
Stop it!
But I'll be...
Look at it this way.
But I'll be merrily singing with my lovely angelic voice. Rain is like, angelic?
No.
Yeah, that's... No.
It's a no.
Still, could be worse.
Uh-huh.
We could have another Bayformers movie like Transformers 5.
We do not.
We don't want it. No. Oh.
So yeah, the teaser trailer only gave us like a sliver to work with, and because they're supposed to have been 10 years removed in the story, which kind of makes sense with the time frame, because the actors have... I mean, it's not going to matter too much for Jake and Nefertiti, because you can use, the CG to cover up the actor's real appearance, so it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. But they've had their own Na'vi child, but they've also adopted a human child as well, which I'm like, okay. I don't know what to make of it until we see like maybe a 2-minute trailer giving us a little bit more plot details and what have you. So I'm gonna wait till I see something more, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Sir Stephen, thoughts on the Colonel coming back, and are you going to be excited to see an Avatar sequel after over 10 years?
Well, I am morbidly curious by it. I mean, I will admit it is a guilty pleasure for me in terms of cinema. I mean, I was intrigued by the world of Avatar. Considering it takes place, say, who knows how long, hundreds of years in the future, I think it's easy to say that humanity might have the cloning technology. We just don't. Well, not much of the world outside of Pandora was built. So it leaves it open to interpretation of how they could bring him back.
Mm.
Until we get another trailer revealing more into the story, I'm just saying I'm gonna wait for another. I'm gonna wait for another trailer before making full judgments. I mean, the internet bound to make theories over the tiniest things. I mean, just look at the whole Star Wars sequel saga.
We don't talk about that.
Hmm. And it seems a lot of people have been talking about the new trailer, considering how much attention it's had over the last week or so on YouTube.
Hmm. Hmm. Madam President, your thoughts?
Again, I was not excited before, and there's like Steve, it's mild curiosity at best, but I'm not really interested in this movie. And honestly, hearing that they're bringing back the main villain of the previous movie, wow, we are grasping at straws for a villain, aren't we? Because honestly, hearing that, it sounds like the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. This what a flesh wound. What are you gonna do? Bleed on me? I'm invincible. Other than that, no, not really freaking interested. I'm just it's until I see like maybe like a long trailer, because I've only seen bits of this teaser, and I'm like, nah, not my thing. I'm good. No, thank you. It's like again, not really interested. If they give me something original, maybe, but other than that, no, I don't want this. I didn't ask for this, didn't need it, so no thanks.
Okay. Raiden?
I can't lie to you. From a person who watched the original in theaters, man, I'm calling Logan to this one. I really don't care that much. Okay, I'll admit I did like him in the first movie, but yeah, lived his usefulness. But you know Hollywood, they like to just retcon anything that doesn't appease them, just like regular comics.
Ah,
Alright. Okie dokie. Which one? Okay. Hang on a second. Really should have turned the Wi-Fi off on my phone before starting this evening. Right, solves that problem. Okay, next topic. Let's see. There we go. Live action Masters of the Universe movie directors give filming start update. A new live action Masters of the Universe movie has become a holy grail to fans, but it looks like the end of the quest is in sight. About time. Masters of the Universe fans have waited a long time for a new live action movie based on the 80s classic cartoon series, after being given a new continuation series from Kevin Smith and a reboot series aimed at younger audience, both at Netflix. Heads up, the reboot series for the younger audiences is way more entertaining. Just saying. Except for Stratos. Dude, take a chill pill! It was no surprise that after years of failed starts, the movie finally seems to have found a home at Netflix and finally has a good chance of making it to the screens. Now directors Adam and Aaron Nee, the latest to be attached to the project, have given a promising update about the filming schedule for the long-gestated project. The original 80s cartoon series of He-Man and Masters of the Universe told of the eternal battle between He-Man and Skeletor as they fought to gain control of Eternia. While the series itself was a toy-selling tool of the highest order, it was the 80s. What did you expect? With plenty of cheap and repeated animation sequences, it became a huge phenomenon, spawning a spin-off series, She-Ra, the Princess of Power, and a live-action movie starring Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella in '87. Folks, just appreciate that movie for what it is. It's one of those, just appreciate that it's a bad movie, and you'll have more fun with it. Just saying. It's like, while the movie shifted the action to Earth and bombed on its release date as the many changes to its storyline for the original series, the film has become a true cult classic, and was also the first movie to ever have Courtney Cox, and she was a looker back then. Since then, there have been several series reboots, but the elusive live-action movies seem to stall at every turn. Since 2018, the Nee brothers seem to be the ones who are going to finally see the project come through, and despite the lead actor being changed multiple times, it now seems like everything is falling into place with Netflix acquiring the rights from Sony and Kyle Allen being cast as He-Man. While speaking to Screen Rant, Nee said, "It's coming along great. It'll be next year. Coming off right off The Lost City was too tight. It's such a huge beast of a movie that it needs real prep time. So we're working on it now and working towards it starting next spring." Masters of the Universe movie is still a long way from certain, don't we know? Despite recent reports suggesting that Masters of the Universe would be filming this summer in New Mexico, it suggests that there is going to be a much longer wait before cameras get rolling on the movie. While this will come as a disappointment for fans, the wait has already been so long that it hardly seems to make a difference. With only one role apparently cast and almost a year until filming begins, there is still a chance that the film could have further setbacks, especially if Netflix decides to start cutting budgets following their recent lost subscribers revelations. Yes. However, the Nee brothers are undoubtedly excited about the project, already having been working on it for 4 years. I know the fans are dying for this movie the same way we're dying for this movie. But when we have been living in Eternia for 4 years now, we love the material. It's something that we obviously grew up with, playing with the toys and watching the cartoon, and have the opportunity to bring that crazy, vibrant, colourful and funny world to light is just an amazing gift. So we're in it. We're writing, putting a team together, looking at actors. It's all coming together. In the meantime, Kevin Smith's animated continuation of an 80s cartoon is set to arrive later this year. As of more, the second Masters of the Universe animated series is also on the platform, considering how long the franchise has been in the doldrum. The only thing Netflix could do to make the lives of He-Man fans complete would be to add the original series to their collection of Masters of the Universe offerings. Lord.
What about the 2002 series? They seem to have omitted that.
Yes. And that reboot series was done well. I think, like with Beverly Hills 4, I'm going to be cautious. Only from the perspective of, we get things that say they're going to go into production, like Batman and Superman in 2004, and lol, not happening. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that they've got an actor again for He-Man, because Noah Centineo was thought to be the guy to play both Adam and He-Man. So, pardon me. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to wait and see how this will all pan together. Lids, I'd imagine your sentiment would be the same.
To some degree, yeah. It's yeah. It's for me. It's kind of a mulligan. I kind of don't care.
Fair enough. All right, Sir Stephen.
Until we get any concrete information, I'm just holding my expectations at the moment.
Fair enough. And to our own man at arms, Raiden, your thoughts?
If it ain't done by Kevin Smith, I'll be interested. Let's move on.
All right. Quick question, Lids. Considering the parody that we saw before going into the live stream tonight, considering that's done with a parody and that's done with original material, would would Twitch be okay with it?
I don't think so, considering the fact they used a certain word you're not supposed to use.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Might not be the best idea.
All right.
Not the.
All right. All right, we'll do one more article, and then I think we'll end early this evening because, folks, we would have had 15 minutes put aside for Spider-Man 2, but
Technical difficulties.
yeah, Vegas told me to go to hell. That's basically the short and the politest way of phrasing it. Okay. FIFA video games will continue to release following the split with EA. Best decision they ever made. Today, Electronic Arts revealed that its football soccer franchise will no longer use the FIFA game following the release of FIFA 23 later this year. The move came after months of rumours and a public falling out between the publisher and the FIFA organisation over licensing fees. Future soccer games from EA will go by EA Sports FC, but FIFA branded video games will continue to release. In a press release, FIFA president Gianni Infantino, hope I pronounced that correctly, revealed that the organisation plans to continue to make video games without EA and is already in talks with other developers and publishers regarding the future of the series. I can assure you that the only authentic real game that has the FIFA name will be the best one. Available for gamers and football fans, the FIFA name is the only global original title. FIFA 23, FIFA 24, 25 and 26 and so on. The constant is the FIFA name and it will remain forever and remain the best. Considering FIFA have published through EA since the early to mid 90s. Mind you, that was back in the day when they were actually using completely made up names for all the players on every nation and club level, whereas since they're like, well, I don't want to know about this Randall Windenheim that plays for Coventry City. I would rather see the name Dion Dublin put on there, who was a player with Coventry at the time. Or if you're playing as Manchester United around 97, you want to see David Beckham's name on there, not, or instead of Ivor, I haven't got a clue. Just for point of discussion. It'll be interesting to see if casual gamers will become aware of this split and it will mean for sales of both games. It's possible that fans of EA Sports will continue to buy yearly FIFA entries unaware of the existence of EA Sports FC. This is not the first time we've seen this kind of split in the gaming industry, as a similar situation occurred with the Harvest Moon franchise. In that case, the original Harvest Moon series had to be renamed Story of Seasons, while Natsume, the company that owns the name, continues to develop its own Harvest Moon titles. The split happened nearly a decade ago, but there are still some casual players unaware of that. In addition to making new FIFA games, today's press release also states that FIFA plans to make non-sim football games with third-party publishers and developers now that its exclusivity is finished with EA. Apparently, the first of the new games will be released in Q3 of 2022. The interactive gaming and esports sector is on a path of unrivaled growth and diversification. Okay, that's a word apparently. FIFA's strategy is to ensure that we can make the most of all future options and ensure a wide range of products and opportunities for gamers, fans, member associations and partners. What soccer football game do you plan to buy in the future? None. Will you continue to buy FIFA? Hell no! Not under EA, especially not under EA. Let us know in the comments or share your thoughts directly on Twitter. Oh no, you don't want me to post my thoughts on Twitter? No. I tend to be quite honest. Imagine like Twitter and Rikaku. What is your honest thoughts on the current writing of Monday Night Raw? And then Liz takes his phone away. No, you will get banned within 10 seconds of posting that tweet. And then she's sort of like, kind of true. The last FIFA game I bought was 05. Only because I got it on the cheap at the time. And I was kind of, waning away from football. So, yeah. This doesn't affect me because I only watch football now if it's the European or World Championships. And even then, I'm just being a neutral spectator and watching the other side, because whenever England play, and here's the thing, England fans, you know this as well, you just sit there with your arms folded, feet up, go, okay, how long is it going to take you to screw this one up? And in one year, they didn't even get out of the group phase.
Meh.
And as my brother once said, well, imagine my shock. Mulligan. I've not got enough mulligans for this. Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom, Raiden, go.
Mulligan, I really don't care. I really don't care.
Madam President?
Mulligan times infinity.
Ooh.
I don't care. I really don't.
Sir Stephen?
Mulligan. I mean, the only sports I care about is one where I bash people around with lightsabers.
Yes.
Hey.
Now,
I'd like to try that sport.
Now, if they
Same
were to do a FIFA game like Sega Virtua Soccer did in 2002, where you can have the cast of Sonic Adventure 2 as a team, hey, with things like that, I don't have a problem.
Right.
Then you're making it fun. That'd be like Raiden playing like, I don't know, a Marvel All-Star lineup where Blade's the striker, and he's just like, oh, this gonna be good.
That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
And that's cool and vibrant. Like, for example, way back in the day, there was that. Also, EA Sports isn't okay. They're not Activision or Blizzard, but back then, especially over the years, they've just been
Meh.
just not fun anymore.
I feel ya.
I mean, there was a time that they developed a lot of games that I wasn't into, but I know it was part of the culture, like the Street series. FIFA got into the Street series.
Oh yeah, they did.
So I don't know.
Sean just says my money goes to better games.
Exactly.
He's not wrong. He's not
The
wrong.
only entertainment that people get from EA at all is Angry Joe losing his shit over Madden.
I am so pissed off with this game. I am so pissed off.
Or Apex.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I am so pissed off at this game that I am going to angrily review it and then buy the sequel and all the concerning DLC package and what have you. It's just like, dude,
They're part of the problem, dude.
It's just like, dude,
Not
you're
the
an
solution.
idiot. I mean, when he did his review for Dread, he actually did a competent review. I'm like, okay,
Did.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
props. I like that. I mean, if you go into a movie or a game that's a sequel to the predecessor and you adored the former and you come away from the latter being so bitterly disappointed, I can understand that. But if you already have a hate relationship with said franchise, what are you doing? I mean, how to say this? There's two crowds of movie reviewers. There's the ones that are paid by legacy media, whether it be TV shows, radio stations, and newspaper articles. They're told you have to go watch these movies because, you know, we as reviewers have an obligation to go do that. With YouTube and movie bloggers, there is that sense of an obligation as well, except we can actually choose what we want to watch. We don't have to go to, you know, Transformers 6, The Last Night Part 2, or, oh, I don't know, you know, yet another, not another movie by Freeberg and Seltzer. Like those people should ever be given directing licenses again.
No.
It's like I say, I enjoyed the first two scary movies. The third one was okay. Fourth one, I heard how bad it was, and I just tapped out.
Yeah, it was. Oh Lord.
As for Meet the Spartans, don't even get me started on that one. That thing was a pile of
Woo, baby
crap.
boy.
The fact that Chris Crocker was actually featured in that, I'm like, okay, we're really scraping the bottom of the
Why?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't want to get it. Not that a superhero movie. I didn't have a problem with that per se because it kind of highlighted a lot of tropes that we were all thinking at the time, and I did get a bit of a chuckle when the character that was referred to as the bitch in that. I'm not going to say the full title because the script got tiny bit racial with it, but all you need to know, it's the character that the actress that played Stifler's mom, and even one of the characters go, "Hey, Stifler's mom." I'm like, okay, little things like that are fine, and what have you. The fact that they referenced Borat at the end wearing a mankini, I'm like, okay, that's visually that's gonna be my nightmares for a while. There are many things I am quite happy and prepared to see Sacha Baron Cohen do. That ain't one of them. Folks, if it was Jessica Alba doing that, not a problem, because, hey, Jessica, even to this day, is still radiantly beautiful. It's just, I don't need to see a grown man wearing that. It's just, no, just no. So, yeah. And on that note, we're going to end a little early tonight, because like I say, we had stuff planned, but Vegas gave me the proverbial thumbs down. It happens on occasion. It might just be something that's just so minuscule and insignificant that I have to go and adjust, and knowing me, it'll just be something so small and simple, and it'll be like, really? For this, I had to restart and dial the resolution down twice, and it's just like, screw you. But then again, folks, I'm not the only one with issues, with technical issues. Just watch some of Oni's recent streams where Twitch can't pick up his signal from his PlayStation. Because I've seen this in the live streams, he does get a point where there's no signal coming through. I don't know the specifics of that, but I don't know. Anyway, until episode 180, this has been MJ Knight saying good night from the night, and I hope everyone's having a good evening.
Ciao, everybody.